Well, this weekend we get a nostalgic look back at the first rock and roll radio station to hit it big right here in Chattanooga. Tune in tomorrow afternoon to 1070 on your AM dial for a look back at the history of the jet fly. And that's what they called WFLI back in its heyday. The program kicks off at 2 with some vintage clips of news, commercials, and DJs over the station's career. Then at 3, we get the history of WFLI, the early years. Now, over the next 3 hours, they'll break down the 60s year by year. Now, here's a sample of some of those memories.
We gotta get it together right now. I mean, right this minute, at 16 minutes after 1 o'clock, Saturdays are solid gold on an instant rip-off weekend. Rip off the flag guys, the top-selling LPs. The LP by Aretha Franklin to be given away sometime this hour. Meanwhile, the satisfaction of the Stones. We've got to take that record to our general manager, Johnny Eagle, Johnny B. Good, Chuck Berry. 17 away from 2. Saturdays, solid gold, instant rip-off weekend.
And we do have 2 local radio legends here to talk about the show. Johnny Eagle got his name and his start at WFLI. He was in the archive story ran just a couple of weeks ago on the Beatles anniversary. Remember that? And then we have former WDEF radio general manager Ben Cagle. There he is with Luther. He worked in this building for years with Luther and the crew, but he got to start actually working the board at WFLI in the 60s. Love those pictures there, guys.
Well, the ratings had just come out.
Yeah, there you go. You guys are really happy about the ratings.
Of course, Luther was always right at the top, and every time the ratings would come out, I told Luther, I'm going to give you a great big kiss on the top of the head, and I did.
And they apparently got it on video. There you go, on pictures there. All right, let's talk about the show. How'd you guys come up with the idea for this? Was this your idea, Johnny?
Johnny had the idea.
Well, yeah. it all started with an anniversary, the 53rd anniversary of the radio station. It went on the air February 20th, 1961, so that's been 53 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we started the reunion, and I just thought, well, we need to take it a step further and perhaps air something that gives us the history of this radio station, because it made such an impact when we went on the air. So we had a little meeting and talked about it, and I got with Ben, and we just started putting stuff together, and first thing you know, we got 3 hours of the history of this radio station, and we could have had 6.
Wow.
Because there's that much footage and stuff that we found. We didn't have anything to start with, but...
Now, where did this stuff come from? Were these like old DJs
we were
had
told
this
on the
stuff?
front end, so, well, why don't you try to recreate some of that? And Johnny and I said, no, we're not going to recreate anything. If we can't find the original commercials, the original air checks, we are not going to recreate. And so that's the theory that we used on this entire thing. The air checks, we found air checks in trunks. We had a couple of guys, well, yeah, I've got 3 tapes that have been in a trunk for 42 years. And the biggest problem was transferring it from the tape
analog
to a disc. And thank you, Earl Friedenberg. Earl Friedenberg has a reel-to-reel, and we were able to transfer a lot of that. And a lot of those tapes, when they went through there for the last time, literally disintegrated.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot with a lot of, they try to do that with videotape, the same thing, it disintegrates. You get one pass. If you don't get that one chance,
shot at it,
one chance
and
of recording
we were able to lift about 90% of that.
That's great, that's great. You know, a lot of people don't know this now, but when you think about today with satellite radio and FM radio, people don't realize AM was the big deal back in the day.
There was no FM, there was no MTV, there was nothing. Right. And if you lived outside the city of Chattanooga, I lived in Marion County over in Jasper, we had nothing. We would pick up LS out of Chicago, 89, Dick Biondi, Whoa out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, John R. out of Nashville. That's all we had.
Yeah, Johnny, when you look back now, is it pretty exciting to hear some of these old tapes and hear the stuff in this documentary?
It brings back such memories when you start to hear some of this stuff. And thanks also to Betty Benz, Mr. Benz's daughter, who found some of the original drops. In fact, you played one of them at the very beginning of this, which was in the closet, stuck back in the closet there at the radio station. Fortunately, it was in good shape. And she found a lot of stuff like that, a lot of the drops that you'll hear on the show.
Well, Johnny and Ben, I appreciate you both guys coming in here. This is tomorrow, and of course, if you miss it tomorrow...
If you miss it, you can go to Dave Carroll's blog. Okay. Dave has access to all 3, and at some point in the future, he's going to post that.
And I also understand it's going to be on YouTube as well, so you can check it out there as well. Thanks, guys, for coming in. And we're going to be back more from here on Prime News at 7. But we're going to start off, before we go away, how about one more commercial from the history of WFLI? We'll be right back.
Say, if you want that little girl to love you when you first start off, what you gotta do is to look sharp. And the way you look sharp, you use the lather blade razor method of shaving by Gillette. Of course, everybody knows that. You know, Gillette Super Blue Blades are double-edged. They give you double economy, double life. Yes, 2 of these smooth shaving edges on every Super Blue Blade, they fit any Gillette razor. And I'm telling you, there's something else. Boys, you gotta shave with Gillette. It's the swinging way. It's what's happening, as Tommy Jet would say.